studying for what it's worth. My show's going downhill, I can tell you that now. Coming up on this week's Retro Robin Show, we've got some next games, we've got some new games, we've got some Crash reviews, and we've even got a preview of a Commodore game that I kind of like. No Commodore versus Spectrum this week, but then I had to keep the show down to a minimum because it was a bit of a train wreck. Yes, everything that could go wrong did go wrong, and it often went wrong while I was recording. You want to know more? Why not join me now for a bit of love of the 8-bit? And because sometimes you've really got to love 8-bit on the Retro Robin Show. Emo, this time, get it right, run the titles. Hello and welcome to the Retro Robin Show, episode number 160. Would you believe I've done 160 of these? And I've still got 160 left in me, believe me you. Okay, what's on today's show? We're going to have a look at 3 new games, a couple of next games, we're going to go some Crash reviews, and if we get time we'll put some more Commodore vs Spectrum in. However, a couple of other things to tell you. Today's show is run on the Engo, the clone of the Spectrum Next. Good news about the Spectrum Next, we've had some interesting updates, everything's going to plan, the board has been tested, things have been looking great, so if you're looking forward to that, that's cool. Some great news about Crash 2020 live event, November 26th is the actual date that's on. I'll be there, hope to see you there as well, and hopefully, if all goes to plan, I will be making my way up to Play Expo in Blackpool on the 1st and the 2nd of October. Bearing in mind, finances have to be a bit tight these days, especially when diesels are coming up to £2 per litre. Ouch, that's a big hurt. As always, today's show is also going to be using the toasty rack in the background to provide some AY music. We've got Emo there, who normally does a little dance and a little jig, but at the moment his battery's a little bit lower than normal. However, I'm sure he'll shove a few moves in a little bit later as well. Bit of artwork in the background at the Mickey game. Not taking the Mickey, of course. And the first cover type of Crash has been a renowned success with all 150 copies selling out. Awesome! Chris is on holiday. I've yet to receive my issue of Crash, but I've received plenty of other things. For instance, look at this. Oh, look at that. I'm going to have an entire house of retro. They're going to be on the walls all the way around. And I'm waiting for a power supply to arrive for the QL. I've got the QL there. One I'm going to have a look at, make sure everything's in tip-top order condition. Got my big cup of tea. Anyway, recap in hand, a joystick, let's go through today's first new games and see what's on offer on the Retro Robin Show today. Please as well, subscribe. Right, here we go. Controller charged. First time I've charged it, it's ready. First game we're going to have a look at is another one of these games that's developed within the development engine, but however, I like to judge them individually as they come. There's interesting looking sprites in this, but without ruining it for you, let's load up the game via a brief look at a loading screen. Should there be one? There you go. That's the name of the game as well. I'm going to enlarge this and zoom little Emo out. Sorry, Emo. Right, we've got interesting bassy type AY tune, coupled with a bleeper as well by the sounds of it. There's a bit of a use of both. Almost like Indiana Jones, isn't it? Almost. Okay, your options are keys, Kempston or Sinclair. Press 1, 2 or 3 to start game. When you start game, of course, I'll put some background music on, but that is what you get. Okay, so you're this guy here with the, well, it looks like a cap more than a hat. It's got that jump mechanic as always, where you can sort of change directions in mid-air. And you know I'm not a fan of that. We don't have the option to redefine keys this time round. Let's give you a little bit bigger picture. There we go, and we can see what the action is. Right, it's basically a survival game. You will need to collect keys as usual and time your jumps quite precisely because it's quite easy to lose lives. So I'll wait till that guy's at the bottom before we jump, and I still managed to lose a life even then. Yeah, you can either press up for jump, or you can press, on this particular control, you can press A, so it's the same sort of thing. Not too much on the screen. What they're meant to look like is giant bats. Graphics, they're kind of flicking between just two animations on it. Simple but effective. Most things, the first few screens are really easy to get round. Gets slightly more trickier as you go on, of course. Don't be fooled, he's not going to get you there, so you're okay. This is where it can get a little bit awkward if you're not too careful. I think I've got away with that. Yep, so we've got at the moment, the backgrounds all seem very similar with the same. The skeletons are quite well drawn actually, pixel art wise. It's again just 2 frames of animation in that. Interesting use of green and blue. A lot of white in this game, a lot of white. This is where things get slightly awkward, because if you land on those spikes you'll lose a life, and if you stay on those spikes you can end up losing a lot of lives in a very short time indeed. So just be mindful of that and try not to jump until he's well out of the scene. So I tend to try and follow him around. Sorry Emo, I can't speak to you at the moment. Yeah. Right, you haven't got long to get out of there, but I've just about managed to do that without losing a life. That is not easy to do. I made that look reasonably easy, but it's, trust me, not easy to do. Right, you can go down there, but before you go down there, I advise you go across the top first. Now, be careful here, because if you leave the screen there, you will run into the other side. There's a key this way for you to collect, which hopefully I'm going to get now. I'm doing okay. Once again, you've got to be careful in when you time your jumps here. Managed it. I've got the key, which is handy. Now all you've got to do is make a good timing jump between that. Oh, I've lost a life, but nevertheless we've got this far, so it's not going to harm the gaming experience as he loses more than one life. I'm very blue. And I've done well there, I timed that quite well. Okay, we're through to the lower cabins, and now we can see there's a whip there for us to collect, which now I can actually fire, but whether it can actually kill them I don't know. So the best you can do is stand here, there's no time limit, and see if you can repel their attack, but I don't think it's very effective on skeletons, to be honest. See if I can get a blow in. There you go, one blow.
Now let me get back to work.
I'm working, Emo. He's interrupting me a lot lately. There, yes you can. There you go. Now, of course, he'll return straight back, so it's almost pointless. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to get up there to collect that extra life. That red man there is an extra life, which we can try and collect for you in a moment. I don't know how I survived that, but I did. And I got the extra life. So which I'll probably lose straight away if I'm not too careful. Now I thought when I first played this game that maybe them blue spikes at the top there might kill me, but with playing it quite a bit I realised that wasn't the case. Now I've got another life coming up, so that's not too bad. I'm not doing too bad. The game itself is not difficult. After a few plays you kind of get used to the way you control it. Not speaking to you, Emo. But it's got all those same usual noises that you get with these sort of games. Listen to the jump. I mean, you've heard that a lot. You know, in a lot of the platformers recently have been using the same mechanic. That was good collision control because I virtually landed on top of that, but it didn't kill me. But it's not always the case. Now I'm not sure if I've got to land on that bloom or just do one big leap of faith. No, obviously you don't need to land on that balloon. And we're getting through the screens quite nicely, aren't we? So yeah, it's a reasonable size maze. And this is only about my third go and I've got this far, so I'm doing okay. Now I don't think I'm going to make that in one leap, and I think it could be pretty much instant death, so I'm pretty much sure you've got to land on that balloon. However, we will... Yep. I just timed the landing perfect there, didn't I? So, oh. And I've lost a life there. But it doesn't matter, because look, if I can get past this guy and get past the routine of that bat, I can get that life straight back, as I've got it back and lost one in the same breath there. Now I did collect a key earlier, so I should be able to get through that gate. Yeah, there you go, and that's the reason why you had to go that way from the onset. There, this is going to be fun. Okay, so the design of the levels aren't too bad at all, are they, to be fair? And there's not many similarities in the sprites at the moment that I've seen. How to get past that would be an interesting achievement. I think it's a case of very careful timing just here and then run for your life. And the same with this one is you've got to wait for him to be going in the opposite direction. I think that sometimes that can be almost unavoidable. Make that jump. Yes, make this jump. No. Oh, that's it, right. Watch your lives go down. There you go. Game over. Okay. What do I think of the game? Yeah, it was a good platform. I don't like the usual sounds being used. Graphics was good. Not bad at all. You know, it was challenging to a degree, and on this occasion where you have got loads of lives, you've got the bare 5 or 6 lives, if I remember rightly, but you can collect extra lives along the stage. Now if you go down there and you forget to collect that key, it's a long way back, so you really want to learn the map well, and it carries on like that throughout the game. Playable wise, as a platformer, yeah, it was okay, that's all I can say. So for that reason, graphics, sound was a bit lacking, AY sound. I'm only going to give that a 7.5 out of 10, which isn't too bad, to be fair, is it really? So give that one a go and tell me what you think. As always, I'm looking forward to your comments, so leave your comments in the comments below. Moving on then. Yeah, he's doing my head in. I think I should get a new chair. I should invest in a new chair. Brief look at the loading screen for this next game that I've come across. Nice looking loading screen, actually. Very well done. And you're on Caterpillar Trails. Your first choices are Kempston, Sinclair or QAOP in space, which is no good if you've got a rubber keyboard. Shut up you. You've already interrupted me enough times, Emo. Now, once again, you haven't got the usual noises on most games. We'll have some music in the background. There you go. Jungle Queen. Oh, I love that game actually. Playing on the 128k in the background there. Give you a chance to read through that. It tells you what you've got to do. This game is fair, at the same time it's kind of brutal. Collecting the oil, need to get the key in every room to open the door to get out the door. Interesting looking squid type sprite, isn't it? You go up and down, but jump's usually the way to go up the ladders in my books. Are they a weird looking sprite? Just looks like an oversized sea fish to me. And best way to get past this guy is to follow him. Oh, and of course if you die you start right back. I've got 8 lives left out of the 9. I think I can live with that. I have no idea what that thing is spitting out stars in the middle of the screen is, but we'll roll with it. It's virtually on every screen. Starts off easy enough. We proceed via this. There are certain platforms that you can jump through. You don't want to be touching that little ghost type red thing there, otherwise you will lose a life. To get to the next part of the section, you will just literally have to jump through it. So it's a case of timing yourself past this guy. What doesn't look right with this game is the fact that the actual sprites do not change the way they face him when they change direction. Now, if they change to the other way round, then that would probably have made the game. If you look at the fish there, he's actually swimming backwards, or seal. Probably meant to be a seal. It's swimming backwards. The seahorse is also going backwards. If they flip the graphic round so as it looks like when it's travelling either direction, it looked better. That would have improved it. That's just a matter of timing your jumps well. Giving away all the secrets here. Right, we'll wait for that bench in what looks to be like a sun. You see I opened the gate there, but as I opened the gate I died. It will return the key back to the start. And we're out. And now of course you've just killed him. So that's the first section of that done. I like the music in the background. It's a great AY tune, isn't it? Just turn up a touch. Could be a bit too loud now. I need a drink of my tea. I'm getting dry throated. So Nessie the monster has not finished with you yet, even though it looks pretty done for by my books. But we've got a little pet hate of mine. With the joystick, if you press fire, it doesn't start the game. Directions don't start the game. You've got to go venturing towards the keyboard and press space to continue the game. That lets it down just a little bit because you'd be able to control when you start the game from the joystick would help. What these little effects is in the middle I have no idea, but it adds something I suppose. And now the change to screen and background, of course the same sort of parameters arrive where you've got to collect keys to get out the next door. There are a couple of ways you can do this actually, because you can actually fall through the platform. And not in that case, I did badly. So what I'll do is I'll wait for that, what looks to be a ladybug, to go down. Ah, would you Adam and Evie? Oh look, Emo's playing pinball. Oh, that was lucky. What do you want of it? Look, had nothing to do. Oh, it wasn't so lucky then, was it? No. Losing all my lives fast here. So yeah, I like the caterpillar's a bit too curly for my like. Could have rounded that off a bit, couldn't they? I think that caterpillar would have been picked on at school. Let's put a bit of concentration into this so as I can complete it for you. Oh, as he says that, he dies. I'm trying to cheat, you see. I'm trying to get down the easier way. Seemed to work last time. Okay, without spoiling that game too much, I like the fact that it's slightly different in the look of things, where it starts off blue. The graphics of the sprites are really quite decent. I wouldn't say they're the best graphics I've seen, but there's only so much you can do with in that 8x8 pixel, isn't there? Before they start replicating. However, the drawbacks is when the fish are going backwards, it doesn't make sense. It could have done with a flipping the sprite round. It could have also done with a little bit of AY music for the 128k owners. Sort of what I've provided myself in the background to give it a little bit more atmosphere. The game itself though, it's an okay game. It's quite big and it gets as you get into it, you enjoy it more. Once again, I'm going to give that as also a 7.5 out of 10. Simply because the jump mechanic and the, well, not the jump mechanic, the sound of the jumping and the sound of the collections was different to what we've previously had repeated on many a game of that sort of ilk, if you know what I mean. I like the look of this very next game. Hopefully there's a loading screen for you. It's a bit lacking on AY. A white Jaguar. I've got a few issues with it, but nothing major. Great looking background. No real AY music at the moment. However, you do have AY sound effects. Then when you get into the game, you've got the AY music. By pressing up, you can jump. But there's the graphics of the engine, the native engine, shall we say. And if you leave it, I like this little bit. This is a nice touch. If you don't do anything, he will sit down and cross his legs. I will wait for that to happen. And while that happens, there you go. He gets fed up of standing, and he's got a little cool little animation as well, where he looks at you and thinks, "What are you playing at? Come on, let's get on with it." Okay. So jump can be pressed by A on that type of controller or up on your actual direction. You don't need to waste all of those axes, by the way. It's best not to, you know, because if you want to get a certain amount, you can get up there from that jump, but I'll have to time it well. Whoops. Don't tell me I've only got a certain amount of jumps. Or did I just get stuck there? I did make that last time. I definitely can make that. There you go. I knew I could. So we finally made that now. We've just got to head back. And there we go. So now what we've got to do is try not to kill everything you see, because as I say, you will be wasting your axes and you do need those weapons. So if I've had to waste one there to collect that, but and I might have to waste one here as well. Oh, plonk. Bit of leap of faith there, wasn't it? Now that guy up there is a bad guy that you've got to watch because he will throw axes at you. Whoops. And as you've only got 4 axes, you're best to... And I've lost my life. We'll get back to there with slightly more axes. Something I forgot to mention is you can go through these doors here and find yourself in new areas of the map. But I tend to try and go across the map from where I've been at, which really opens up the game to being quite huge in stature. I'm still going to be determined to make it across there now. For I've set my stall and I will travel with it, whatever that means. There we go. That was easy enough, wasn't it? Right, I got to here before I died last time. We can't get to that axe because you have to come out that door and go across to do so. Oh, dear me. It caught me toenails and it killed me. Yes, I got him. He also got me slightly, but looks in sprite. But you can be careful, there's a stalactite that falls from the roof here, but we'll get that axe first of all. And then we've got to somehow get over there. and not by falling in the water. He was easily done all, wasn't he? Yeah, there we go. Doesn't tell me to go left. Oh, does it? I didn't know that I could do that actually, so yeah. We've just got to head back now, so we've got everything that we need to get here. It doesn't matter about that collapsing because we can just hop back over this way, can't we? We've got to head down that way. Right, everything about this game graphically is very pleasing, from the background to the little things that are waving to even the graphics of the character. It's very colourful, very easy to control. Everything has a slight sequence about it, so it's not a difficult game by any stretch of the imagination, but it can become difficult if you rush. And as I'm a devil for rushing things, it usually is going to be quite tricky for me. Oh, killed him and died. White Jaguar, graphically great. Everything about the whole layout is great. The gameplay ability is brilliant. For me, you can't get much better than that. I'll definitely give that a Retro Robin special. That is worth a play. It's a full 10 out of 10. The only thing that lets it down a little bit is there's no music here. But the music in the gameplay is what matters the most. I'm just picking flies there. But yeah, I thought that was a fantastic game. And well worth a play. Moving on then. Classic game here. You've probably seen this being played for the Next or the Engo clone. Great little bit of intro screen with fantastic 6-channel AY music. Usual information coded by Rob Martin, M-O-R-A-N, because my accent tends to throw people off sometimes. Usual effects and crew are involved in it, of course. And of course, like for the instructions. Give you a chance to read that. As seen played by TJ Paris over in the USA. And let's go for it. Yep, we've got to collect all these gems. You will be pursued by certain things, by the way, can go through this platform, and you don't want to hit them crosses. Great music though, I must admit. Oh, I thought I killed him. We should get past the first level without losing too many lives. I like that because that noise is from a game called Amarotti, and it's the noise you get when you clear a level, so it's nice that you get a bit of a nostalgia blast when you hear that noise. Now you can hear the AY tuner, also the music has changed slightly, and it does from every level every now and then. Now, because they're in hot pursuit, it gets a little bit more hairy, so I'm going to let him catch me up. Haha, got 3 of them in one go. Come on then, boys. You know you want to. Oh. If he follows me, I'm going to get him. So you can clear a level without actually collecting all the gems, which is disappointing because I like to get all the gems and kill them all off, but you can't do both, so... I got you. Now that one can go through platforms, he'll just home in on you, so you've got to be fast. Oh, and I didn't move up in time. I'll blame the joystick, why not? It wasn't me. Oh, look, he's onto me already. This is going to end badly for Retro Robbins, but he will try. Oh, I might do this. I like the way the music gets intense. It really gives you a sense of panic when the music changes tone. Oh, I didn't mean to turn left then, but anyway, I'll roll with it. Now, obviously, I can't go through that platform. Oh, yeah, and if you stay underneath the brick too long, it'll fall on your head. Oh, I should have remembered that. Can you tell I'm having fun here? I want them to come down here so that I can destroy them. They're hot on my trail soon, so I've got to be quick. I don't like it when the music changes. Go! Oh, I've lost my brick. I'm bricking it, literally. Oh, I've run into it. I get it. I love the game over sequence as well. For the next game, I'm sure he doesn't push the next to anywhere near the capabilities of the machine that we've all backed on Kickstarter, or some of us might have bought on a separate purchase. But it's a great game, it's a very playable game, it's got great music in it, and it does exactly what you expect it to do. It gets you hooked, it gets you playing more. You get better the more you play these things, of course, and I did enjoy that one. For that reason, I'm going to give that a full 8.5 out of 10. I'm not going to give it its top marks, so I'm sure the Spectrum Next is capable of a lot more. What do you think? Did you enjoy that as the next time that was the next game, or was it just me? I'll be honest, I found it fun, and I'm going back and I'm playing it more and more as we go along, so yeah, it's a good game, give it a go. And guess what? I think it's free on download as well. Amazing that, isn't it? Okay, the next one is another next game I want to have a look at. It's a Space Invader one, and you go for the browser. There we go. For the next. Nice screen to start with. You're going to know what you're going to get with this. But there you go. Next version. Nice looking background. You can change various options on this, of course. But I find that when I'm pressing keys, it's a little bit slow and not responsive, and it keeps going back to that screen. So anyway, we're here. We're going to start now, and I've got to remember what the keys are. I'm using OP, and I think I'm using one of the arrow keys, so it's got all the usual noises that you expect with a Space Invader. Turn the main music down. Yep. Just like the arcade a little bit, isn't it? Get the old nostalgia feel for that one. And the bullets actually explode beneath the roof rather than disappear, so that's a good touch. I'll set an high score so as you can beat it, which shouldn't be too difficult, let's face it. See if I can get that guy at the top as well. Oh, knows it. Yeah, got him. What a shot. I heard you say that. Well done, Retro. They always tend to drop bombs where you are. It's just part of the game. Fortunately, I'm managing to get a few blocks in as well. And of course, as they drop down every level, they go slightly faster. Until you get one left, of course. That'll go flying across the screen. And that goes up in value as well, the more of them you can get per level. Oh, I'm pretty good at the Space Invaders, don't you think? To be honest, my favourite one is Galaxians. I used to play that a lot. Never actually played it at the arcade though. So there was always a port of Galaxians for the Spectrum that was really, really good. And I'm sure there's been a few ports for the Spectrum of Galaxians. Wasn't a big fan of Mooncrest, to be fair. It was an okay one. The way he loaded was more interesting in the game to me, but you know, each to his own. Oh, these last ones are always the hardest to hit, aren't they? They travel faster when you fire the bullet, don't they? Got it! There we go! The first screen complete, and I'm using my opposite hand now, so I'm going to make it even more of a challenge. Still got 3 lives left. I know a few people that couldn't do this. And first live lost as well. Now, I haven't got very far in this game. I ever go 2 screens, so I can't tell you if it actually has a background change. But it wouldn't be too difficult to put your own background in, to be honest, because you've just got to change the layout, haven't you, really? So you could put your own in if you wanted to. I'm doing good though. I'm setting you a score. 1,480. And I've got an extra life because you can change that as well in the game. You can change the high score for your extra life. You can get it at 1,000, I think is the lowest. Oh, that was a good one. A bit more intensity to it now. Look at me go. See the concentration coming out now. I'll have you, thank you very much. Now the good thing is those little guards, barriers, they refresh on every screen. I remember that in some games they didn't, and that made it a bit more difficult. Perhaps that's what they should have done in here. Look at this, I'm going to clear 2 screens. This is unheard of. There we go. Too easy. Does that mean I got the high score? I don't know what the score sheet's saying. I'll die in a minute just to see if I got on the score sheet. I'll be disappointed if I haven't made it at least into 3rd place. Or does it? Oh no, there's high score 0, so I've made it to 1st place no matter what. Okay, let's end the game. I've still got 2 ships left. Argumentatively, I could have done really good, couldn't I? So you get to put your name in, of course, or does it just remember the high score? It just remembers the high score. Okay, for a simple shoot 'em up with a nice background, it's got to be okay, isn't it? I'm going to give that a 5 out of 10. It's nothing really out of the ordinary for a Space Invader game. The Spectrum versions of the Space Invader games are pretty good. That's clever. I like the way it turns the Y round to put it the right way. Yeah, that's for the next, and it's an okay play. It's not one I'd go back to though, and I think I've been more than fair with 5 out of 10. But you know, at least you've got a game of Space Invaders for the next. Let's go to the Crash reviews. Right, we're going back to number 83, December 1990, where Crash was £1.85. We're going to go for a brief puzzle game, hence the reason why I've got Summit up in the background, which is indeed a great game, which I want to get the guy to agree to me to get that on the next Crash cover tape. Will be great for a bit of variety. Need to get in touch with the coder for that and get his permission, of course. Puzzle Link Ocean, £9.99 or indeed £14.99. Alex, you'll get your chance. You'll see what I mean in a minute. We've got 3 games up at the moment, and one of them is a whopping £16.99, which is ridiculous. But hence it is. Now this does have A1 music in it. And there's your loading screen. As soon as it starts. Let's just zoom in a little bit. Zoom you out, Emo. Keep forgetting to put my camera right. We'll have a bit of the old... let me move into... cover the Commodore up. Okay. Bring back some music. You've got a match 2, and as your game progresses, you've got a match 3. So I'm just going to give the playable demo. No chance at all. C to choose controls. It's got a good demo. It's got a very good demo. I think we've got a white clash here, haven't we? Right. See? You know, I'm going to use the Sinclair joystick, I think. Just changing joystick ports there. No. It doesn't like me, does it? I'll do that again, don't worry. Right. She's not going well. Okay. Up, down. That's good. Now we can get going. And does he say press fire to play? Indeed it does. Right, there you go. You start at that first level. I've had to redefine the joystick because it doesn't give you a redefine. It doesn't give you a joystick option. Bring up some AY tunes. Never mind, Emo. So you've got first level's pretty easy, and the first few levels are really easy, to be fair. Got a match 2. The quicker you do it. Emo, who's talking to you? Not me? No. So shut up. Having an AY robot is not a blessing. Right. First level complete, pretty straightforward, pretty simple. You get a bonus level. The speed you do it is the bigger level you get. Be warned though, because all is not what it seems. If you push the wrong one down at the wrong time, you can block yourself. So first few levels, as I say, are pretty straightforward, and you can pretty much see what it is you've got to do here. And you can actually do a 2-in-1 go if you do it right, which I'm going to do in a minute. So we'll get rid of that. Now hopefully and wait for 2, all 4 in one go. There you go. You get a bigger bonus for doing it that way. Level clear. It gets not difficult at all. Now you have to be careful here because you can block yourself. If I was to bring this one down into air, for instance, I'd have to use a retry because I would have one of these remaining. So follow getting 2 together at the same time. We'll have a double play here, look, there we go. Next level will be complete. The screen gradually gets bigger and fills more of it up, of course. You'll see as you get further and further through this puzzle game, there becomes a few things that start to move around on you. Look at me, moving my head out of the way of the screen. So, I mean, there's a great game in the background. That's Sum It Up. I like that game. That's a real test. If you like puzzlers, you've got to like Sum It Up. It reminds me of the Mega Touch games you used to get, where you played Mega Touch Machine. Used to be in the pubs and that back in the day, puzzle game. So there we go. There we've got our first moving platform. So we need to move that out of the way, but we don't want to put that down because we'll block ourselves. And now I'll block myself. done exactly what I can't go any further, I'm stuck, so I'll have to press the retry. Yeah, and we'll try again, and we'll try not to do a block ourselves. So I'll pick the wrong one up and I block myself there. A simple mistake to make, but then that will automatically clear itself. And that will clear that one, and then finally we'll be getting this level out of the way, quickly moving it across. Right, this game got a 72% rating. I thought this is an odd one as well. You need to move that across, will automatically clear itself straight away within one move. But remember, if you clear two and you've got three on the screen, you can't complete that particular screen. After playing this for a while, it got a bit repetitive, I do admit that, but I could see, oh, there's only two of these, yeah, so I've got to get rid of that one first. I could see the appeal. If I move that though, I will be dropping myself into a trap, because there needs to be two of everything in order for you to complete the game. For instance, I should have cleared three in one go there, and I'd have to retry. Rating wise, 72%, 7 out of 10. Don't agree, I think it's a 6 out of 10 because of some of the puzzle games that's been compared to recently. This was 1990, so it was okay. It wasn't majorly difficult. The time helps a little bit, but it could do with going a little bit quicker. There's no real colours in it other than the two colours. They could have made each block a different colour if you like, or mix it up a bit where you have to get the colours and the combination of the shapes matching. So for that reason, I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. Next game is going to be interesting. I think you'll like what's coming up. Sneak preview of this game. I'm not going to give it a rating. I need to find out the ratings before I can do this, but I enjoyed it because I've come across it by accident. Actually, I saw an advert for it, a preview, and I thought, well, I've never heard of this game before, so I'm going to have a look at it for you right now. It is a shoot 'em up. Saint Dragon. Don't know what the reviews are for this, but I will find out for a later episode and update you. Does have a wide tune, but not in the actual game. We'll press start here. Automatically selects Kempston for you. Then it will load on the tape. Music from Down the Pipes played off the toast rack, of course. It doesn't need to be the toast rack, it could be the 48K. So you're this guy here, the dragon. Your tail's fairly invincible. Will block bullets for you. Do not hit the red buttons. Red bullets, they're very destructive. Power-ups are available in the game once you kill a certain amount of monsters. And the good thing is when your tail's in the way, bullets can't hit you. But don't be fooled. As you see, I've got my first power up there. The idea is to get your tail in front of you to block the bullets, but still be able to destroy the bad guys. In which case, they come in all various shapes and sizes. So the bullets do kind of move slow enough for you to give a chance to destroy them. Rapid fire is achieved by you bashing the button as fast as you can. Is it as good as our type? Not really, no, but it ain't bad. I must admit, I was quite impressed with the game when I come across it. Never played it before. That's a little bit loud. Turn that down a touch. Right, you get things coming out of the tree here, so be mindful of those. What lets it down a little bit is the scrolling's a little bit slow. You know, it's a good game, but the scrolling seems just very tedious indeed, waiting to get to each next section. You don't start right from the start when you die. In fact, you don't. probably start me where those things come out of the tree. Yeah, there you go. So, oh yeah, and certain bullets will go through your tail, and that's why I died there. Because I forgot that certain bullets go through your tails. The good thing is you don't lose all your power-ups when you get to I, which is an amazing... a lot of games where you lose your power-ups, you know... I think they can go for 1 or 2, they don't go for all of them. Oh, I couldn't see where I was then because I was stuck behind the tree. Not doing too well, am I? But I'm going to proceed. We'll get a bit further for you. Because if I can get you to the first real bad guy that can catch you by surprise. Oh, what hit me? I've had a few goes. I've decided I've become really good at this. And I've not put any cheats in. Honest! Oh, that's the first real bad guy. Yeah, as I say, the scrolling's a little bit sluggish, isn't it? Don't you think? But I can get a little bit further in the screen. There's a power up there, I'll get it in a minute. And because I've cheated, not that I would do that normally, yeah I would. The cheats for this game are really easy to put in as well. They're just passwords. Here we go, here's the first real bad guy. You've got to watch him, he will leap from out of nowhere. And normally that would have destroyed me, but you have to avoid that leap. Which I haven't done very well. I'm meant to be up here out of his way really, but you've got to be right top corner to avoid him, to be fair. Yeah, you can avoid if you're in the real top corner. Anyway, we've got 3 of them out of the way, so we can maybe just try a few of these. I'm doing quite well, I think. It's so easy this game, especially when you've got infinite invincibility. Right, there are cheat codes in the Crash magazines for the level select. There are cheat codes on it for everything, which I'm quite glad I found, to be fair, because I can show you more of the game, which I wouldn't have been able to get this far without them. But if it wasn't a cheat, it's a tough game. But it's a really good game. It's graphically very nice, and the sound effects are great. It's no A1 music, it's just blast effect really. But it does get a little bit repetitive, in all fairness. And that was just a sneak preview of that, which I'm going to have to find the ratings out and give you a... But if I was to give it a rating off that, I'd give it about an 8 out of 10. So, from judging what you can see here, do you agree? Couldn't resist, I had to play it on just to see how far I could get. And there's this massive... Well, I say massive, he's dead now. Oh, he's not dead. Oh man, that would have caught me out if I'd been playing it for real. Well, I got rid of his head. Look at the power-ups you got. Oh, this reminds me a little bit of Zynaps. Anyway, I have played enough of this now, so moving on then. I hate this next game coming up. It was such a pain in the neck to get working. The sound coming from the Harley Quinn 128k kit that I've sold up. One of these that I'm selling online is called the Red Devil. It comes with the multi-phase 128k and it is a beaut. A well-tested and perfectionate thing. I'll show you that now while this loads. There's the loading screen of the game that we're looking at right now. It's called UN Squadron. Be warned, you tap the keyboard too hard or so much as sneeze and this thing crashes on you. It's a multi-loader and there is not a tap file ready for it yet. So you've got to go old school, which I don't mind, but it helps to record it all on a tape for you so you can rewind it and get back to the start rather than use a TZX loader or something like that. Because you have to go back a couple of files, and when you load it, put a tap file on, you tend to have to play all the way through the file to get to the part where you need to load again. Right, with that said, this is a beautiful piece of equipment, bespoke, as I say, it's specially made by me. It comes with a crash, not crash at all, that's just a sticker I put on the back, but it's a multi-face 128K matching colour to go in the back of it, and it will come with a power supply and a compositive lead. Indeed it is compositive output, and a very good one at that, with 128K sound. The kit itself costs around about £140 to buy. And if you used to ask somebody to solder that up, they'd probably charge you around about 50 quid to do that, so that's £190 worth of kit. That's not including the case, the membrane and the faceplate, which would probably be about £40 complete on top. So it'd be about £140. But then you've got this that goes with it, plus the power supply, so it's around about £300 worth, no problem at all if you used to actually do this yourself. However, I'm selling it for £250, and that is a bargain price because it's virtually cost price for me, minus any labour charges. So you won't get one cheaper at this such a high quality item. I'm keeping that in its own separate box. It will come properly packaged, so if anyone's interested, drop me a line at aceWayne27@live.co.uk. Anyone who bids the highest gets it. So if you have all of a week left in order to get that from when this video is released, if anyone's interested, you need to get in touch with me quick. And I mean, it's a bespoke one because it's got a red motherboard to go with the red case, where most Harlequins come on a black motherboard. This one is red to go with the red case, and that's why it's the only one, and I repeat, the only one at this present moment in time that exists like that in the world anywhere. Nobody else has done the same faceplate, red case and red, shall we say, motherboard. Right, what can I tell you about this game? That was a hard sell, wasn't it? Well, it's not a hard sell. I'm selling it out of necessity to fund my future projects with the Retro Robin Show, and of course I need money to help pay for my car. Yes, I need money. Unbelievable, but times are hard. Fuel's £2 a litre, it's killing me. US Gold, £9.99 or $14.99. Presentation was given 80%, graphics was given 83%, sound was given 79%, playability 82%, addictive qualities 84%. Its overall rating was indeed 83%. Spoiler alert, I tried hard to like this game. I really did. But there's a few little issues that let it down. We'll jump scene this now and I'll get you to actually playing the game itself. Right, now the game is loaded the first part. What we need to do is select the controls before you can load anything. For instance, if I want to be the first player, I can go Kempston. Okay, the second player, I'm going to go Sinclair 2. And now we get to play the game. What we got to do is add your credits, which you can have a total of 5. Press 1, and of course then you have to select who you want to be. In this case I'll be this young lady, and then all we have to do is press play on tape and load the next section. So we've loaded. Graphically this game is superb, playability wise it is not so. So we need to buy a few things before we can move on, and we can exit. Great, look, the way the plane swoops up and down is fantastic. Rapid fire is achieved by you holding down the button, so you don't have to bash the button on a regular basis. However, you can see the helicopters that are coming in, they're quite good, but you get tanks on the ground as well. So be warned, if you don't get rid of the tanks, they're firing upwards will take you out a little bit. As you can see, the the graphics are great. Yes, you get power-ups, so you get better weapons as you go along. And, of course, the first level isn't too hard. It looks great, doesn't it? Yes, it does, Emo. You haven't seen much Emo action today. Now, we'll get to the big boss towards the end. Of course, I've got 5 credits, it's not a problem. It's not a difficult game. You know, you can avoid bullets and you can see things quite clearly. You need to get rid of those ground defences before you proceed too far, otherwise they will catch you out. We've got that now, so that's good. Dropping down. I like the way the plane's the helicopters, the nose dips so as they go forwards, just like they would in reality. Really, the nose goes down and they fly forwards. If my nose goes down, I fall over. Top heavy. Right, so there's your first real big bad guy. And last time I got this far, he tended to crash before I even got to shoot him. So I'm doing really well, and I've crashed into him, but because I've got credits, and the 5 of them I can continue. I've just got to get as many strikes as you can in without actually getting hit. Sometimes it is kind of difficult to see the bullets. For instance, I've just kind of flown into one there. But I'm not doing too badly at the moment, so I should think we will probably be able to destroy this before he destroys me. There we go. And you get your mission bonus, etc. Now, I had difficulties with this because before it did play up a little bit, but hopefully we'll load the next section no problem at all. Or it will crash. Seems to be working. Oh, that's a bonus. 128k capability, yes, but you have to have the right ROM selected. This did not work for me on the Plus 3. It didn't work for me on the Plus 2A. It's from 1990, which is strange. Whether that's just me doing something wrong or it's just not compatible with the later Spectrums, I do not know. It's best in the 128k ROM 0, USR 0, I think. I tried loading it in the next format as it is. It didn't go too well there either. It was very twitchy, very crashy. But apart from that, lack of sound lets it down. Its overall rating was 83%. And because of that, I felt that, yeah, Crash got it right this time round. 83% was about fair. So I'm going to say 8 out of 10, just because it's graphically really impressive. Sound effects, non-existent. It's a shame, that's what lets it down. Playability, it's a little bit hit and miss in getting it to load and work on your system. Would I recommend giving it a go? Well, if they can get a tap made of this, which would be nice, it might be a little bit better to play, because then you can load it up in whatever ROM that you use. If you're using an emulator, it may play better than actually on the Spectrum. Who knows? I'm not judging, I'm only speculating. Don't forget, today's show is only a matter of opinion, and hopefully we'll have another level to show you in a moment. Right, we're on to another level. So now that, because we've got a bit of funds, we've got, should we try getting those? Okay, we've got 1,000 left, so there's nothing else we can get. We'll exit, get ready, we're on to the next level. Good change, this time it looks like you're shooting planes, and then, oh god, we've got to watch the pattern sequence there, haven't we? Goodness me, that caught me by surprise. I'll have a pair up though, thank you very much, I'll have 2 of them. Whoa! Oh, look at the turnaround on them, that was pretty effective. I'm impressed with the graphics. You get to choose 1 of 3 characters at the start. I tend to go for the middle one. My first one, because it crashed on me, I'm a bit superstitious like that. You're obviously flying through the above and through the clouds in this level. This is not attacking the ground's, shall we say, forces. This is more like a dogfight scene. And as I say, the graphics are well impressive. But I can't hear any sound effects at all. In fact, if I turn the AY tune down without what you can hear in the background is probably the outrun. It's very quiet indeed, yeah. Unless just attacking the big planes. There's two of them for me to destroy. As I say, the graphics are really good, aren't they? It's a shame the gameplay isn't quite as good as the look of the game. But then I suppose this is asking a lot of the humble Spectrum, the 128k Spectrum back in the day. Or is it? I mean, I've got another power up there. You can see my bullets are slightly larger. And I'm doing okay. There must be a huge boss at the end of this level. If those planes wasn't big enough, I bet the boss is usually better. It doesn't disappoint on the boss levels, this game. And it certainly doesn't disappoint graphically or the size of it. I'm making sure I collect those power-ups because you never know when you're going to need them. And of course you get to keep those power-ups if you die, which is good. I like that part about the game. Do you know, like the shoot 'em ups like R-Type, and you have to start with virtually no power-ups at all if you lose a life. Can be quite an achievement to get through the level without them. This one, and I've lost a life. And it's game over. Yeah, I'm going to totally agree with Crash there. 8 out of 10. There was a couple of other games that I was going to review today. Unfortunately, I had a lot of issues trying to get them to work. For instance, Gunboat, which was expensive, arcade, was the $10.99 and $16.99. Got a overall rating of 67%. Hopefully, if I can get that working in a later show, I will do. We're going to reset the computer. Got some great graphics though, hasn't it? Got some great graphics. Also, Snow Strike by US Gold, $10.99. Really could get it working, but couldn't get past the second level. Thought I'd best not review it. I couldn't quite get to grip with the controls of the games. Got a 69%, and it was a bit hit and miss. Right, we're going to do something we don't normally do. We haven't got Commodore versus Spectrum, but we have got a Commodore game that I want to review because I played it from a Crash cover tape. And for anyone who owns a Spectrum, you don't always get to see the Commodore games. Vice versa, for those Commodore people, don't always get to see the Spectrum games. So it's nice to feature one every now and then. And this game I quite enjoyed, and I'd like you to see it too. Coming up next. We're going to have a look at a Commodore game, one that came on a cover tape for Zap. As you can see, there's two cover tapes there. I'm just going to zoom in on them for you. Have a good look at those. That's some really lovely artwork. In fact, the tape doesn't disappoint either. The tape's really good. So, but they're all playable demos, and of course, because it's for Commodore, they're outdoing the Spectrum as always. Their community are just throwing demos at Crash to get them done. Well, I've had a little bit of difficulty getting people to send me files. You Spectrum lovers, come on. We can't take this lying down, can we? Come on, get in contact with me. Get yourself a game on Crash cover tape. You know the score. Get in touch. acewayne27@live.co.uk. Send me an email. Send me a text on Facebook. I will always try and reply to anybody who texts and messages me in whichever way you message me. So let's zoom out the picture. Let's get you back into the view. There we go. And what we'll do now, because we don't want to listen to this, has got a great SID sound to it. Great SID sound to it. Robot Jet Action. That is the name of the game. There it is. I'm going to have to just pause the video while I declutter the background. There we go, all the usual artworks back in action. So I'm just going to move the camera around a little bit, pan it forwards and enlarge it, no, delarge it, don't make it too big. There's a cover tape, as I say. You should see the actual cassette itself. I'll show you via the front camera. There you can see the cassette, beautifully done. And hopefully the Spectrum cover tape Crash issue 1, which I've managed to get enough people to be involved in, which has been a success, as I said earlier in the show. An absolute sellout of 150 copies. Originally only going to be 50 copies, but because it went so well, it went great. A few seconds while this initiates itself. Great there. Robot Action's what it meant to say. It sounds better off camera than it probably would be picked up via this audio. And this is only a demo, and yet the demo gets me. So what you've got to do is you've got to go around the screens collecting all the stars. You've got a certain amount of jet power. If you hit any objects like spiky or the roof or anything, you lose a life and you have to start the entire level again. With that said, let's have a look at the game. Get to choose your world. We're going to choose the very first one because it's the only one you can play on the demo. These are the stars, and if you look on the side there, it runs out of energy fairly quickly. Now you can land on the pink platform, but the grey you will fall through, which is good, so you need to bear that in mind. I think we've only got a couple more stars to get and we're away, so you don't have to collect all the stars to complete the level. Oh, I nearly had it done then. I've got the gate open, and unfortunately I was trying to get a perfect score, which you don't have to do, but because I tend to rush, perfect. So if you get them all, perfect, and I'm not crashed into the roof. Oh, there's a spike on the roof. Problem is, I forget to let go of the button sometimes, and that's not a good thing. Right, this time we will have no mistakes. There we go. So if I time this right now, because I know that they disappear, this time I'm going to go for all the stars. Oh. I said I was going to have no mistake. Let's see if I can get back to that again. So I've got back to this point, I'm doing really well. And I spoke too soon, of course. Perfect, now all I've got to do is get to the gate, and I've hit the spike again. Oh, I can't believe I've done that. Oh, I've got to get further than this. This time, I'm not going to hit the spike. Yeah! You know what I like about this game? It is so very playable. I mean, to get up to that other level, you don't have to complete it every time. I'm not sure whether that'll hit you if I land on that ledge, but we'll try. Yes. That's answered that question, hasn't it? Oh, I've got to wait. You've got to wait till he drops down before you charge up. But you get the idea of the game, and I thought for the Commodore game this is fantastic. But I think this would actually work on the next, because the next would be more than capable of pulling this sort of game off. Or when I could just exit the screen. Oh. I love it. I'm so loving it, I'm thinking of getting the actual game itself from somewhere. I've got to source that for the Commodore 64 robot action. It got me hooked. I do better off screen than on screen. With that said, let's wind up today's show with a bit of a mute. Where's the mute button on here? That's it. I like a mute button. Right then. Thank you once again to Richard Hollins, Dean Jones, Lee Shot Stevens, Chris from Crash, of course, Chris Wilkins, and everybody else who's behind the channel. Hotshot Snooker, Dean Jones's Cues, I did mention them already, for helping with today's channel. Hope you do enjoy the show. If so, please remember to like, subscribe and share, and I'll try and get you some more Spectrum content as well as Commodore content coming your way. Remember, if you love a bit of 8-bit, then you should love a bit of this show, because it's all about the 8-bit fun. Some of it nostalgia, some of it new, but all of it is for you. In the meantime, for me, Wayne Retro Robbins, and after that, lyrical poem, which was quite good for me because I didn't trip over my words. I usually do. Depending on when you watch this, thanks for watching as always. Have a nice working week or weekend. For me, Mo, it's bye, and I'll see you again soon. don't want to cut it off when this bit of the music's on. It's like the intro. Honey Run Monty. Is it Honey Run Monty? I forgot which Monty. It's a Monty Mole game anyways. In the meantime, take care and see you again soon.